grand whatever. Pleasemians, party people, they mamas, and everyone else or whoever. We've got the Clockina with us today. Can't we believe it? It's back and better than ever. And it's been less than a year since we haven't had them because, you know me, I've been slacking on bringing them out. So let's get into it because we've got a lot of things to talk about, and I'm sure this is going to be a hopefully inshallah 30-minute episode. And if you guys don't know what inshallah means, it means in hopes of God, or like in God's will. Yeah, if God's willing, then yes, and inshallah God is willing. So yeah, we will be getting to 30 minutes this episode because I have been slacking on that, especially when I'm just talking to the camera myself. But we've had a lot of things change in this year. One, we had me not on the patio, and again, we're not on the patio, which, like, you know, things happen, and sometimes we're not on the patio, sometimes we're inside, because this weather in Houston and Texas is very hot, and also on top of that, even though it should be fine to be outside for 30 minutes, like, to put sunscreen on and go through the entire process, like, that's another version of Pleiades that you guys will be getting one day. I'm just not there yet. I'm getting stronger. We're working towards that. You guys know I just had a concussion 4 months ago because we just talked about that on episode 49. Today we got episode 50. Sorry, I meant 50. Today we have episode 51, and the next episode will be an interview with my good friend Jean. And Jean Sandoval has wonderful art. They're an incredible artist. She's literally so important to the Houston scene. What incredible artworks she creates. Like, if you guys haven't seen any, I urge you guys to look at their pieces before I interview them. Jean is an incredible human being, very sweet and angel. Literally, I have so much endlessly to say, and we will get into that next episode as well, but I'm just giving you guys a little teaser because I have to. You guys have to be excited because I'm excited. We are excited, and we deserve to be excited. And yeah, I probably have like a lot different of an energy this episode than I've had in previous episodes. That's because it's actually Monday, May 18th, 2026, when we're posting the episode Concussion, and you guys can't see it, but on my computer right there, it's just auto playing the video, my premiere episode. And honestly, I shouldn't be telling you guys that. I should just be saying, oh yeah, I watched my premiere when it comes out. I watched alongside you. Is that true, guys? No. You guys are the ones that I'm making this podcast for. Do I ever look back at my images on my videos, at any of my past content or art that I created? No. I'm literally like, what's the word? Oh, why can't I think of words right now? I'm cringing. That's the word I'm thinking of. I'm cringing looking at my past. And that's not saying that that version of myself wasn't a good version of myself. That's just saying that, like, right now I'm a different version of myself and we've moved on. And it's not saying that version of myself was bad, again, by any means, no. We're just chilling. We're living day by day. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. Everything just is. And maybe people have like an evil, you know, within them. Sometimes human nature can cause, unfortunately, wars like we're in currently. But at the end of the day, I believe we're allowed to choose good and to choose happiness. So again, like I said, my next episode, this is getting into the questions now, is my 9th interview, and in 3 more becomes 1 year of interviews. So if you guys remember last year when I started my podcast, I had wanted to start interviews the first month, and I wanted to do a bi-weekly podcast, as in every other week I do podcasts just with myself, and then the other weeks I do podcasts to interview others, mostly because when I had learned how to videotape podcasts, post them, continue that process, you know, get interviewers, record, etc., have the items, have the mindset, have the research for a podcast. When I was understanding all of that with one of my ex-partners, I had learned so much, and that continues that process of me being able to have 1 year of the podcast. But at the same time, you know, they were doing podcasts as interviews constantly. And it also wasn't just him, it was him alongside his cousin. So, you know, there was a lot more help there. And yeah, I do have people who are helping me when I have the interviews. But other than that, like, it's pretty difficult out here. And I think you guys understand that being a one-man show. I even talk about it in the description of my last video, the concussion video. And you guys know that I've had incredible community members on my podcast, like some honorable mentions, Darius and his incredible music, his company, he's a CEO of his record company. Also, we have Carmen Lizarraga. What a beautiful human being, a musician as well in their wonderfully educated life. They have a wonderful aura and energy that I can't describe. Inshallah, soon we'll be making paper together because they're about to go on a trip to some country for a couple of months. I won't describe that for their own information sake, but at the same time, you know, these are people that mean so much to me. Again, Morgana, you know, I love these people so much. These people mean so much to me. Otai, Anthony, the writer, you know, these community builders, these parents, these people that are doing so many things for one another, that we're all growing older together, you know. And also, I'm sure many of them are similar to me, where they don't rewatch the art that they have created. And for that reason, I feel like, you know, we send this information off to the universe for our friends and our family. And I do believe that I've had some wonderful community reach out to me because of those members that have already been a part of my context, part of my conversation. So yeah, the fact that we're out here, you know, on another day, getting to talk, and we have these 12 interviews that are on my mind, and these people that I'm talking to, again, wonderful artists, you know, people that are actors, actresses, people that have music videos, people that are doing music videos, you know, shooting them themselves, film workers, theater workers, people like Guy Shanks or Alan Leonardo, you know, people, they just, they come and go in my mind. Ethan, Brian, like Inky. Again, I think I named like every single person that I have interviewed and I am interviewing, because again, these are wonderful people to me. I don't know where I would be without every single one of them. And if I missed anyone, I'm so sorry. There's so much going on, and I'm sure you guys understand that, and like ignore my mess back there. Oh dear God. Anyway, so yeah, 3 more until 1 year of that. We've had 1 year of a lot of things. Things are constantly changing. 52 whole episodes? Are you joking me? This is 2025 to 2026. Like, my podcast was born last year. We have had a year, 12 months of content every single Monday. That means that every single week I am thinking about you guys. Every single day I know that Monday is coming and that my videos have to drop on Monday. And again, like I'm saying, I'm recording this on the previous Monday before this comes out, because this will be coming out on May 25th, 2026. Again, this is episode 51. Again, I am doing my best to change things. As in, I want this to be uploaded and scheduled. And, you know, we all know that scheduling posts exists. That's been the case for a long time. But because I've been so focused on YouTube, I haven't been able to focus on my other art forms, such as Instagram. You know, I don't even think of Instagram as an art form. Unfortunately, more so it's a work form. We have vending opportunities, performing opportunities, speaking opportunities, community opportunities, just gathering to network, and so on and so forth. You know, all of these things continue while my year of growing this project also continues. So now that a year has been established and I have much deeper connection to this project, you know, I can see the next couple of years and how that will look. Like, we're only so deep into this, and if all goes well, we'll be past this as well. We will have more than one journal for the lifetime of this project. And yeah, again, we're planning for year 2. We've had 1 year. Like, let's renew that subscription 1 more year, please. And yeah, I'm here for you guys. I have every reason to be alive and to keep fighting, to wake up every single day with fresh new baby eyes, like I say oftentimes. So yeah, you guys motivate me. You guys inspire me. Thank you guys for being the reason that I come back. That's the entire heart of the podcast. I say this often, like, we're learning together, we're growing together, we're speaking together. I'm so grateful at how far we've come. I also want to talk about the 230 subscribers that I have. 231 here and there. It fluctuates sometimes, but you know, I don't have less than 200, and that is something to celebrate. I also don't have less than 100. I don't have less than 3. I used to have 3 subscribers at some point. And here we are now on a beautiful, glorious May of 2026. And I have 230 subscribers. Like, that reminds me of when I had my first year of my art Instagram. I think I had 230 followers, and then in my second year I gained from 230 to 6,000. So I have no idea what's going to come in our second year, you know? Like, I am just grateful and I'm encouraged to keep showing up. And to keep talking about politics and education and family and love and blood and change and growth and health and who we are and mental health and physical health and strength. You know, I'm here to talk about the clockina and about being gay and about colors and squishmallows and decorating. I'm here to talk about the medical system. I'm here to talk about everything, right? Art, music, and everything in between. People are always like, what is your podcast about? What are podcasts even about? You know, like, if you have something that your podcast is about, what is that even about? Oh God. Oh, I dropped my journal in my plants, but everything's all good. The plant has been through a lot, but she's resilient, just like we all are. So yeah, again, I'm so grateful at how far we've come. We came from 3 subscribers. Again, I don't know where we're going, and I'm so aware of the fact that I could lose subscribers. That's so okay, but the people who I have right now and the people who will stand by my side, you guys mean everything to me. You guys literally mean everything to me. I want to take the time to specifically thank Otai first. I know I've mentioned you already, but without his articles, I don't know where I would be. Like, I wait every single week for those articles to be posted, and some weeks I have a difficult time and I'm unable to make time to read them and to respond to them. But every single time that he writes, like, the passion, the energy, the time that goes into it, I feel like Otai is such a successful artist, and I want to just be so grateful for this person, you know. Again, for the entire year you've written articles. How? I know that I've also, like, been a part of this project, this podcast, for the last year, but it's like you've been there by my side, and like, yeah, I didn't expect someone to hold my hand, and it's not like someone like Otai's there holding the camera every single time, but I've also mentioned that when we had Otai's interview, he used his phone so we could record a longer podcast, because my phone can't do an hour-long video. It can do 30 minutes, though, at this point, I think, and that's the new energy that I'm bringing into this project. We will be able to do 30-minute projects continuing on from this moment, just like the prophecy foretold, people. So yeah, Otai, again, you remind me why we do this, the long form content, to talk about educational purposes and to come back to the points of learning and moving forward in this present moment, because all we have is this present moment. You know, Joaquina, I want to thank you for literally everything. I met you about a year ago. We're about to reach our 1-year anniversary too, and without Joaquina, and the next person I'm going to thank is my sister, but without y'all too, if you guys both didn't mention that I should start a podcast in the same week, I would not have started a podcast, because I look up to you guys so much. Joaquina, you're an incredible artist. You're an incredible person. You're an incredible community builder. Literally, Joaquina's who I push up as the best community builder, even though I don't want to put them on a pedestal, because if you put people on a pedestal, there's only one way, and that's down. Here's my thing. Joaquin is a brilliant mind, and you know, they work in Watershed. They're the reason we have the Clockina. There's so many great things that I can mention about them. They've made my birthdays better. I hope that I can make their birthdays better. Again, this person is one of the biggest reasons that I have this project in the first place. They sat me down, I had things to say, they had things to say, and they're like, you should start a project. You should start a podcast. You have things to say, and people have things to hear, and they want to hear you, you know? And those are the things that I say to others as well. It's like, you know, maybe I don't have time to listen to your podcast. Maybe I don't have time to watch your project. I will do my best to make time. I'm trying to invest myself in all different myriads to, you know, dip my toes in every single parts of the ocean. Sometimes we don't get there in one lifetime, although that's what I'm attempting to do. We do our best here. We do our best. And Joaquina reminds me of that every single day. Again, my sister, I want to thank, because if it wasn't for her, you know, we would not have another nurse in the world. I want to remind everyone that she's my older sister. You know, older sisters do so much for us, especially in Asian households. I want to say that. So again, thank you for my sister for reminding me of why I should do a podcast, for encouraging me to be friends with people, to pushing me to be the person that I am today, for being there for me when I'm having a hard time, you know, for being a sister at the end of the day. I know that you're always there for me, and I'm so grateful to have that security and safety, because not everyone has that, you know. And also, we also didn't always have that, you know. Not every sibling situation, not every sibling story starts out wonderful. And, you know, it took a long time to get here. I'm 26, about to be 26. I'm going to turn 26 in literally 3 months. And like last year, we were talking about how I was about to turn 25 in 3 months. And now you guys have lived 25 with me, and you guys are going to live 26 with me. Inshallah, all things considered well, all things going well. I also wanted to thank Zach, because if it wasn't for him, without my partner, I would not feel comfortable, I think, showing up for myself after my concussion. Although Joaquina and Morgana and a lot of other friends were there for me in that time as well, and I want to uplift them in that statement as well. I do want to say that, you know, I could continue traveling and I could continue feeding myself because of Zach. And yeah, you know, what is a partner for if not to make your life better? And I would like to make his life better in so many ways. And I hope that, you know, in one of those ways is to do art and to provide for the world. Because if we're not providing for the world, if we're not like being here, you know, being a part of the thread, then like what are we doing, you know? And again, I just want to be on the right side of history, and I want to be on, I want to be on my platforms speaking my truth and not hiding from what I want in this world. Again, you guys, I hope know at this point that I'm pro-Palestine, that I'm anti-war, that I'm pro-free water, that I care about the health of our citizens, that we have troubling news such as cancer clusters in Houston, Texas, and I'm sure other parts of Texas. We have the best cancer research in Texas as well, because unfortunately we also have, I think, the most cancer clusters, the most cancer patients, because we move nuclear waste through the ground. And again, I would not be able to talk about these things so freely if it wasn't for those people that I just mentioned. I also have to mention my guests, all of y'all, every single one of y'all that I mentioned, and maybe some that I didn't mention, also the future guests. I have to thank Yona, I have to thank Angela, I have to thank Grace. You guys are on my mind. I don't know if you guys watch my podcasts, or if you guys are watching this episode specifically, but you guys need to be uplifted as well. There's also people like PK that I spoke to, who is also one of the members that I'm thinking about uplifting. There's so many people like Caveman that I think, you know, like I can go to the back of my book and tell y'all who I've been thinking about, like Reef. I don't know if you watched this. Aaliyah, if you know Aaliyah, one of my good friends, she's also been on the list for a long time. There's also Oddly Creative. I don't know if you ever watched this, but what an amazing human being you are. Art Twink, you are again an amazing artist, and you're also Bengali, and it would be an amazing honor to uplift a Bengali artist who is just such an amazing person. Sochi, she's a lesbian trans rapper in Austin, Texas. She just released her first album, and she's so young. She's so talented. Also, you guys know Free Hamza. I've talked about him before. I'm not sure if you guys remember. He's a Palestinian artist, both a rapper and a rapper. Sorry, wait, what? A rapper and a saxophone player. He also produces, and you know, there's other people that I want to talk to, like Nacho. If you guys know, I've done some nude modeling before for body modeling, like, you know, like body figure drawing. I've also done nude modeling for photography. There's also Blossom Aloe. I don't know if you guys know Mia Jane Coyle. I think that's her name. Maybe her last name has changed now since she's been married. But the singer of Blossom Aloe, wonderful human being. I would love to have you on my podcast. I don't know if you watch this or if anyone who knows her watches this. Rena from the Renas, I would love to speak to you on my podcast. I would love to interview you and uplift you. Again, there's so many people that I think of that comes to my mind. Abra, who does chainmail, Chloe from Kush Cottage, and also pottery. I can't believe we get to live this life. Tyler from Temptats, Snailmate, Ali Vega, my friends Julia and Lou, both together maybe and separately, but you know, there's also Zoe Loftus. I want to shout you out because you are an incredible human being and all of your friends are awesome. Shay also. There's so many people, again, like, it's an endless list of wonderful people. Rohan, from Houston. So yeah, community, thank you guys for making this possible. Like, I named all these people. I don't even know if you guys watch. To the people who watch that I didn't name, thank you guys so much. Again, like, I know that there's so many of you guys that comment, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned most of those names because you guys are typically the people that I've interviewed. Alan, Carmen, and Jimmy. Oh yes, Jimmy. Oh, how could I forget about you, Jimmy? I don't forget about you. I don't forget about you at all. Darius. Yeah, there's also another one of my friends. I forget what his username is, but he's like a rapper, and he also comments on my posts very often, my YouTube videos, and that's like, again, just how can I not be grateful, you know? So I had to just pause the video back there. We have about 10 more minutes. Honestly, this is like a workout. Like, how was I reaching 30 minutes every single week? The fact that I got to 10 minutes, like, it wasn't that I was lazy, it was that I was like always running around and doing so many things. But it's like, damn, like, this literally is like boom, 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 you know? So yeah, art has always been the heart of this thing, the heartbeats. Thank you guys for believing in me. If it wasn't for art, we wouldn't have my room, we wouldn't have these mums, you know. I was in band, and a lot of the people, if not all of the people that I went to homecoming with were in band. You know, my partner currently, not only was he the first chair cello and also the first chair cello in the Austin Youth Orchestra during his time as a child, he also is the child of the former Director of Fine Arts of Texas, which is an insane place to be in your life, an insane title to hold. Also, the collection of pins that I have endlessly. I also have a collection of magnets, you know. These are all mementos, parts of my life. This tapestry, not the greatest purchase in my life. The squishmallows, like I told you about decorating, all parts of it are my life. This thermal that I got for my partner, you know, it's art, it's a metaphor. These pants, these shorts that I got that are South Padre shorts, I think, like, it shows, I don't know, it says existing or something, but these shorts that I got on the trip to South Padre with my ex, who's a horrible human being, for his mother's wedding, you know, that was a time, and South Padre was a time. What a lovely time. Well, South Padre is a lovely place, so of course it would be a lovely time. But anyway, yeah, art has made this possible. The image of traveling has made this possible. To go out into the world, that's what's made this possible. I'm so endlessly grateful, again, for all parts of things to be art. I also have my Apple Watch, and I say that because, again, everything is a part of everything. Like, I've had this Apple Watch for years. I bought it myself when I had a job. Right now I've been struggling. You guys know that. I've had some financial issues that I've been dealing with because of identity theft. And so here we are, just being grateful. And every single day that I get to wake up with all the items that I've had for so long, I get to reflect some more, I get to process some more, and I get to be here some more. You know, we're sobering up. I haven't been drinking for some time. I will be honest with you, I have been having a planned relapse. I haven't had nicotine for years, but then I did have a relapse, a slip up or whatnot, about 2 weeks ago now with some of my friends. But I was also celebrating the fact that they had new music coming out. And that was, again, the first time that I smoked in nearly 3 years. Also, reminder that I've said very often that I only want to smoke nicotine in community. I've said this because I do believe there's going to be a day, I know there's going to be a day where I'm working on attempting to get a Grammy, and maybe I do get one, you know, I get one. And then I smoke a cigar with my people that I'm celebrating with. Isn't that glorious to think about, you know? I don't have to drink my life away. I don't have to hurt my liver, but I can enjoy my moments like that. And I won't even lie, the moments that I had that blunt with my friends, I also felt grateful that I shared that moment with them. Again, it's been 2 weeks since that, and yeah, it's been 2 weeks of reflection. It's been 2 weeks of sitting with the fact that I had that moment, and yeah, maybe it was also a relapse. Two things can be true at once. You can have a good time and you can also have a bad time. So yeah, thank you guys for believing in me. Again, you guys pushed me to be sober. You guys pushed me to put episode 51 out. You guys pushed me to reach a year. You guys pushed me to be here. I'm so grateful. If it wasn't for everyone involved, if it wasn't for everything involved, the art, the love, the change, the community, the science, the God, everything matters. It does. I swear to you. And that's just what I believe. So yeah, let's work towards year 2. And like I said, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, I mean next week's episode on June 1st, 2026 will be the year. It will also be where we're going to focus on my good friend Jean. We have 5 minutes left. And I remember that back in the day, we used to take that time to just talk about whatever I needed to talk about and get off my chest. And I'm going to go back to that because there's been a lot of weird things that have been happening and I haven't been completely honest about those things. So let's update you guys. It's not that I haven't been honest with you guys, it's that maybe I haven't had the time to sit down and relax. I've been going through these concussions. I've been coming up with these interviews and these questions. I've been working towards my second year and how to establish the foundation so it can feel secure and stable so I don't like lose my balance and fall off what I have built. It's not a pedestal, no, but it's something. I've created something and I don't want to fall off. And it's not like I'm like completely famous or like I'm important to the media, no, but like I do feel like we're getting somewhere. We're stirring conversations, we're changing people's minds, we're opening people up. And I say that because there's a lot of trouble that surrounds me, and maybe that's just because, again, I push myself and I put myself in difficult situations. I also see a lot of kindness in the world, you know, a lot of silliness, a lot of things that humor me. I see a lot of humanity. And again, that's the point. I know that's the point. We all show up and that's the point. We're grateful to show up and we're grateful to be here. If we didn't have each other, we would not remember that. And I may feel a little bit manic right now, which again, like mental health has been a huge conversation. We wanted to go more in depth with the conversation about autism and ADHD and schizophrenia and so on and so forth, but this is not a mental health podcast. This is not a mental health project. There may be a day where that comes into the forefront, where we put a microscopic lens on it, but we also may be in the point where that's just not happening right now, and that's okay, you know? We're doing things one thing at a time, like we always do. I have my tattoo that says one thing at a time. We're only one person, you know. We're doing our best, like I keep reminding ourselves. And yeah, again, like I said, sometimes we do want to change people. We want to love people and we want them to be themselves and we want to uplift them for who they are. But also, like, just because we don't want to change people doesn't mean that, like, our loves shouldn't want to change for us, right? Like, I want to change for my lover. I want to be better. I also do feel like I may be in a very stubborn mindset right now, and that's very difficult for me to admit. And it's also embarrassing, honestly, for me to admit online rather than with the people closest to me. I do feel like I've been having difficulty being honest about that because, like, I've been having my concussion and my heart hurts, and that's no excuse. But, like, you know, I am going through a lot, and I've been losing my coping mechanisms, and I've been going back to coping mechanisms that trigger me because if you guys remember, I've talked about how when I was younger, when I was 12 years old, my parents forced me to read the fact that I was a lesbian out loud to them, to my entire family, and that traumatized me. And there's so many things that we have to talk about in that same energy, right? Like how being a lesbian at my young age of 12 was in junior high, especially in Texas, you know. We also have Republican families surrounding us. We also have other trans and gay kids surrounding us. Gay and trans people thrive in Texas, and that will always be the case. And again, I want to remind everyone that I am transgender. I am assigned female at birth, whatever the fuck that means. You know, we have AFAB and AMAB, assigned female at birth or assigned male at birth. We have cisgender, we have transgender, we have all the things under the umbrella and the rainbow. But I do want to say that I'm pangender, and I will talk more deeply into what that means to me in a different episode, but I wanted to reflect on that for a moment so you guys know and you guys hear it from me. My pronouns are he, they, so that means yes, he has a podcast. Pleiades is him. I'm them. Yeah. I know who I am. And so that being said, we have 1 more minute on our podcast. Thank you guys so much for being with me. There's so many things that I want to talk about. There's so many things that I want to ramble and rant about, and we'll get there. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my podcast. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to take up your time today to reflect on the fact that we've reached 1 year. Thank you guys for being here with me. Thank you guys for being, again, 30 minutes on these longer form projects, because we don't want to have our short-term memory and have short-term memory loss. Thank you guys so much for educating yourselves, taking care of your health, brushing your teeth, waking up every single day with fresh new baby eyes, doing one thing at a time. Thank you so much for loving yourself, loving me, loving the community, loving the world, loving the universe. Thank you guys so much for loving God, if you guys do, and if you're atheist, thank you guys so much for doing your best. Thank you guys so much for doing your best regardless. Whew, have I missed hearing that? Whew. With that, it is always a great pleasure to work with you guys. And until next time, much love, my plebeians, and goodbye.